As we finish our overview for the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System, please keep in mind if you'd like additional information, you can attend additional trainings on the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System. Now we will turn our attention to the requirements for the setup of ETPES. This is a screenshot that the superintendent or designee will see, alerting them to complete the LEA setup. This is no change from last year. The superintendent or designee will need to click on the link to view the setup screen. Once the superintendent or designee clicks on View Setup, he or she will be taken to this screen and will need to click on Edit to begin the LEA setup. The superintendent or designee will be entering many decisions in ETPES for setup in the fall. Those decisions include the following: the rubric choice, or if a rubric needs to be aligned to the state rubric. The superintendent or designee will enter what the district has determined regarding the use of forms in ETPES, whether that will be the option 1, where only state and Ohio Department of Education forms are used, or option 2, where combination of state and local forms are used, or option 3, where only ratings and the student growth measures or metrics of student outcomes data are entered. An entry of the decision regarding the evaluation interval for teachers must be entered. The framework choice for teachers must be entered. The district will have to enter whether they will be using a memorandum of understanding regarding student growth measures for teachers and principals this school year. The district will enter the decision if they will be participating in roster verification setup. And then the default percentages for student growth measures for teachers and principals will be entered at a later time this school year. In the ETPES setup, the district will enter their choice regarding rubric alignment. Districts will need to choose if they will use the unmodified rubrics for teacher, principal, and school counselor evaluation. If the district has used a modified rubric in the past, they will have an available choice to continue to use the modified rubric that was aligned previously. If the district is choosing to use a newly modified rubric, they will need to complete the rubric alignment tool. This screenshot shows the teacher rubric alignment choice for a district. In the ETPES setup, districts will need to indicate their use of rubric. Districts will need to choose if they will use the unmodified rubrics for teacher, principal, and school counselor evaluations. If the district has used a modified rubric in the past, they will have an available choice to continue to use the modified rubric that was aligned previously. If the district is choosing to use a newly modified rubric, they will need to complete the rubric alignment tool. As stated before, districts will need to choose if they're going to use unmodified rubrics for teacher, principal, and school counselor evaluation. If the district has used a modified rubric in the past, they will have an available choice to continue to use the modified rubric that was aligned previously. But because this is the first year of implementation for the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System, there is no choice for using a previously aligned rubric. If a district chooses to use an aligned rubric rather than the OSES rubric, the district will need to complete the alignment tool. If the district does not employ any school counselors, it can mark that. And then the school counselor tools within ETPES will not be activated for that district. Previously, when it comes to teacher and principal evaluation, it was possible that some districts may have been under a collective bargaining agreement that was in place prior to the implementation of the law. This is no longer the case, and all districts are implementing teacher and principal evaluation now. It is possible that districts may elect to pilot the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System only if the district has a collective bargaining agreement entered into prior to September the 29th, 2015, and that collective bargaining agreement is still in effect. Just as in the past, districts will be making a determination about what forms will be used in ETPES. Districts will need to determine what forms they will be using. There are 3 choices regarding the use of forms in ETPES. Each of these options is a separate choice for the Ohio Teacher Evaluation System, the Ohio Principal Evaluation System, and the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System. Regarding the use of forms in ETPES, there are 3 options. Option 1 is where the district would be only using state or ODE forms. Option 2 would be where the district would use a combination of state and local forms. And finally, option 3 would be where the district would be entering the ratings and student growth measures or metrics of student outcomes data. Another option that's recorded in ETPES is for the evaluation interval of teachers to occur less frequently. In order for a teacher to be evaluated less frequently, the teacher must have earned an accomplished or skilled rating in the previous school year. Then, in non-full evaluation years, the student growth measures for that teacher must remain at average or higher. This less frequent evaluation interval does not apply to principals. And since this is the first year of the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System implementation, there is no option yet for the school counselor to be evaluated less frequently. This option will be available for school counselors beginning with the 2017-2018 school year based on the earned ratings of accomplished or skilled that the school counselor would earn this school year. When available, in order for a school counselor to be evaluated less frequently, the metrics of student outcomes must remain at skilled or higher on the Ohio School Counselor Evaluation System rubric. The school counselor must have metrics of student outcomes every year. And just to review, if a district or community school determines that it will evaluate accomplished teachers every 3 years and skilled teachers every 2 years, the teachers will complete a professional growth or improvement plan, be observed at least once, will have at least one conference with the evaluator, and will complete student growth measures. This applies only to the 3-year accomplished and the 2-year skilled intervals. Beginning in the 2017-2018 school year, if a district or community school determines that it will evaluate accomplished school counselors every 3 years and skilled school counselors every 2 years, the school counselor will complete a professional growth or improvement plan, be observed at least once, will have at least one conference with the evaluator, and will complete metrics of student outcomes. This applies only to the 3-year accomplished and the 2-year skilled intervals. And again, this begins the 2017-2018 school year.